Hey friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you have never been here before, it's Yvonne. And so my name's Yvonne and my YouTube channel is all about simple living and budgeting and, just being happy most of the time. So if that sounds like something that you are wanting to do to be happy, to budget, and to live a little bit more simply, please stay tuned. So now that I got your attention, I am going to share with you five tips for you to start off your 2021 in a more financially stable situation, plan, headspace. I think that 2020 has taught us so many things. So here are 5 tips that don't involve making extra money. They're not side hustles. It's just 5 things that you can do that will benefit you as a person in 2021. My tip number 1 is an annual spending plan. If you've never heard of it, I'm glad you're here. A spending plan for the year is basically similar to setting up your budget. It is setting up your budget, but what you're doing is you are allowing yourself to spend your money in the incoming year. So you're still budgeting your monthly budgeted expenses, but now you get the whole picture. So instead of just seeing January, we have these things in January and these things in February and these things in March, you're putting it all together in a large picture and you're able to see, okay, if I want to save up this much money, I'm going to need to save up money during this month and this month. This month I have more things, so I'm not going to do it this month. So it's your ability to set up your sinking funds, to figure out how much debt you're going to pay off, to see if you're actually overspending in some areas in your life. And you're able to see this in a bigger picture by setting up an annual spending plan. Here is my spending plan that I set up for the year. I will go more into this in another video, but if you can see this, it has everything and it also goes individually to each month as well. So my tip number 2, this is 4, that's 2. So my tip number 2 for you is to, if you don't have it already, you need $1,000. Minimum $1,000 in your savings account. That is just that, in your savings. It's not savings so you can buy a nice meal out. It's not $1,000 so you can get some new Nikes. It's $1,000 that you frankly do not touch unless you absolutely need it. It's, I got a flat, I wasn't expecting it, I don't have the money. That's what those $1,000 are for. It's not to lead you from one month to another. It is to help you with unplanned expenses. So it's just a small savings account. And then from there, you're able to decide, what am I gonna do this year with your annual spending plan? Going back to number 1 is, am I wanting to full on fund my emergency plan, or am I gonna fund my emergency fund at the same time as I'm paying off debt? Here, you have 2 different opportunities if you qualify. So your 2 opportunities to fund this $1,000 savings account or more, depending on what you're comfortable with, is going to be using A, your stimulus check if you qualify for that, or B, I was gonna say 2, but A and 2 don't really go together, but anyways. And your second one would be to then use, if you get a tax refund, use your tax refund. Don't see this extra money that is coming into your life as money you have to burn. It's not money that makes you want to go buy the new latest iPhone or Samsung. You need to have a savings account, not just an account that's there, but money that you want actually to have money in that savings account. You get what I'm saying? So again, tip number 2 is to have a minimum of $1,000 in your savings account. My tip number 3, for the same amount of money that you might be using for a subscription to Spotify or Netflix or Disney Plus, if you don't have life insurance, get some, especially if you have kids, if you have a significant other. Term life insurance, and again, I am not a financial advisor, I am not an insurance agent, but what I am telling you is term life insurance is the cheapest way to make sure that your family doesn't have to set up these crowdfunding things in case anything happens. And as we know, in 2020, things happened. The unexpected happened. Horrible, people passed away that were typically healthy. But one thing that you can do for your family is give them that peace of mind. Get that term life insurance. If I will not say get that whole life insurance, because I'm against whole life, but go speak with a reputable insurance agent. Ask the right questions. Do your own research. Do you want to do term life insurance? Do you want to do whole life? I recommend, as Dave Ramsey also recommends, term life insurance. The reason that I recommend and I myself have term life insurance is for the amount of literally a Netflix subscription or a Hulu subscription I am getting. In my case, I got a $250,000 term life insurance. I have that set up and I pay $12 a month. I'm not planning to use this to make my son be rich when I'm old and I die at 70, 80. Fingers crossed that I live a nice and fruitful life. But what I want is, if I was to unexpectedly pass away at a young age, my term life insurance is until I'm 50, that my son would be financially secure and not have to worry about who's paying for my funeral expenses, who's gonna pay off the mortgage. And so that is what term life insurance is about. It's about the unexpected, and it only pays out if you die. It is not an extra savings account. If you want an extra savings account, what you should do is my tip number 4, and that is to open a Roth IRA. I know that people have heard a lot about how whole life is better. I'm combining 3 and 4, peeps. So where people think, oh, I want whole life because whole life is gonna give me, future savings. For that same amount, use that money and stick that in a Roth IRA. That's my tip number 4 for you, is to have a Roth IRA if you don't have one already. I know as a millennial that by the time I'm retirement age, more than likely Social Security is not going to fully fund my retirement as what was the intended purpose, but the intended purpose wasn't for it to fund an additional 30 years of life, and we as people are living longer than ever before. So that's not what Social Security was intended for. It wasn't intended to keep you going until you're 90. So that's why you need to self-insure. You need to make sure that you are contributing to your retirement account, making sure that you will be fully funded by the time you are retirement age or before. Like me, I want to retire when I'm a little bit younger because I don't want to work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. But if that's you, that's cool. But I want to fully fund myself. Self-insure, people, self-insure. And my last tip number 5 is going to be to find an accountability partner. So I highly recommend having someone in your life that's gonna be with you thick and thin, gonna tell you, girl, you don't need to do that. No, you don't need those jeans. You have 100 jeans in your closet. You need someone that you can talk to that's gonna help you better prepare you for your future. And if that means you have to maybe, cut off a little bit of people, then do it. You want to be surrounded with people who are like-minded, who want to see you succeed, who want you to have a better life financially for yourself, for your kids, for your family, if you don't have kids, for your friends, for anybody, for the cats. If you want to grow up and just donate all your money to the cats, do it. But you can't do it if you are not financially secure. So again, if you enjoyed my video, please sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I think that's it. Okay, bye.